You check your bank account. It's not empty. You're not reckless. You're not blowing cash on nonsense every weekend. You invest a bit. You save a bit. You've got subscriptions under control. No wild credit card chaos. And yet, you still feel behind. Like you're working hard, earning decent money, doing what you're supposed to do. But somehow your life doesn't feel financially powerful. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The biggest wealth problem in your life probably doesn't show up in your budget. It's not a spending category. It's not your coffee. It's not even your rent. It's an invisible constraint. And if you don't see it, it quietly locks in your financial ceiling for years. Let's talk about it. Because this is where most smart people get it wrong. There's a behavior that looks responsible. It looks stable. It looks mature. It even feels adult. You increase your income, and your life expands with it. Slightly nicer apartment, slightly better car, slightly more convenience, better tech, better travel, better restaurants. Nothing crazy. Just leveling up. Totally normal, right? But here's the part no one says out loud. Every lifestyle upgrade becomes a fixed cost. Every fixed cost becomes pressure, and pressure quietly steals your future options. You don't see it in your budget because technically you can afford it. But affordability and freedom are not the same thing. And this is where the wealth problem begins. Because once your lifestyle locks in, your flexibility disappears. And that's expensive in ways no spreadsheet shows. Now let's break down how this actually plays out. Because it's subtle, and that's why it's dangerous. 1. The identity upgrade trap. You get a raise. Finally, you feel validated. Like, okay, I'm not just winging it. I'm moving up, so you upgrade something. Maybe you move closer to the city. Maybe you finance a better car. Maybe you justify higher monthly expenses because, hey, you worked hard for this. Pause for a second. Was that upgrade about utility or identity? Because money doesn't just buy things. It buys a version of you. The version who lives in that building, drives that car, travels that way, orders that bottle without checking the price. And once that version becomes your new normal, downgrading feels like failure. That's the invisible constraint. You're no longer optimizing for freedom. You're optimizing to maintain an image, even if that image is just for yourself. It's low-key wild how fast "this is amazing" turns into "this is standard." And now your baseline cost of existence is higher, which means you need this income. You can't easily pivot. You can't easily take risks. You can't easily say no. This is where opportunity cost gets real. Because the wealth you're giving up isn't money today. It's optionality tomorrow. And most people don't notice this shift until they feel stuck. But it gets deeper. 2. The comfort ceiling. Let's say you're making solid money for your age. Respectable. Above average. Doing all right. You start thinking, I'm good. I'm ahead of most people. And maybe you are. But here's the question that stings a little. Ahead of who? Your friends? Your co-workers? The average? Average isn't wealth. Average is survival with nicer packaging. When your expenses rise to match your income, you create a comfort ceiling. You stop stretching. You stop questioning. You stop building systems. Because things feel fine. This is the most dangerous financial state. Not broke, not wealthy. Comfortably constrained. You can pay your bills. You can invest a bit. But you're still trading time for money at full intensity. You still need the job. You still need the salary. You still need the next raise. That dependence, it doesn't show up in your budgeting app, but it shows up in your stress. And here's the kicker. The more comfortable you get, the harder it becomes to tolerate discomfort, which is exactly what long-term wealth requires. Delayed gratification, investing aggressively, saying no to upgrades, letting money compound instead of consuming it. That discipline feels unnecessary when life feels good, until 5 years pass. And your net worth didn't really change your freedom. That's the quiet lock-in. But there's another layer most people miss. 3. The time compression effect. You think you have time. You're 22, 24, 27. Plenty of runway. Compound interest is on your side, right? Yes. But only if capital is actually compounding. Here's the invisible constraint again. When lifestyle expands, your investable surplus shrinks. Maybe not dramatically, maybe just a few hundred a month. But wealth is built in margins. A few hundred a month invested for a decade? That's not small. That's optional retirement age flexibility. That's business capital. That's geographical freedom. That's the difference between I have to and I get to. Time is neutral. It compounds whatever system you feed it. Feed it consumption? You compound dependency. Feed it assets? You compound leverage. And here's the uncomfortable moment. This might be about you. If your income increased over the last few years, but your stress didn't decrease, and your options didn't increase. then the problem isn't your earnings. It's your structure. And structure is invisible until you try to change it. Try cutting your expenses back to what they were 2 years ago. Feels tight, doesn't it? That tightness is the constraint you installed. No one forced you. Society didn't mandate it. You opted into it, which means you can opt out. But it requires something most people avoid: intentional friction. The illusion of, I'll fix it later. This one's subtle. You tell yourself, I'll tighten up later. I'll invest more next year. I'll be aggressive once I'm making real money. Later becomes a moving target, because as income grows, expectations grow faster. Your definition of real money keeps shifting. In the US, in the UK, in Canada, and Australia, same pattern. In Zurich or Oslo, even more pressure. Lifestyle creep is global, and it's socially rewarded. No one applauds the person who keeps their fixed costs low. No one congratulates you for investing 40% of your income. No one sees the silent systems you build. But they do notice the car. They do notice the apartment. They do notice the travel. So the external validation system pushes one direction. Wealth building requires the opposite. Quiet moves, unsexy discipline, low ego decisions. That's not flashy. It's powerful. And here's the twist. The real wealth problem isn't spending too much. It's designing a life that requires too much. Let's reset this. Wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about reducing dependency, reducing the number of things that must go right for your life to function. When your fixed costs are lean relative to your income, something changes. You breathe differently. You negotiate differently. You take smarter risks. You walk away from bad deals. You don't panic when markets dip. You don't cling to jobs you hate, because your life doesn't demand constant feeding. That's leverage, not trading options, not crypto plays, not stock picks. Structural leverage. Designing a life where income growth primarily increases freedom, not expenses. Imagine this. Next raise? Nothing changes externally. No bigger apartment. No new car. No lifestyle jump. But your investments double. Your runway extends. Your stress drops. That's a power move. Low drama. High control. Over a decade, that difference compounds into something serious. Most people inflate their lifestyle with every raise. A small minority inflate their assets. Guess who quietly builds optionality? And here's the calm truth. You don't need to slash everything. You don't need monk mode. You don't need to live miserably. You just need margin. Margin is the space between what you earn and what your life requires. Margin is opportunity. Margin is time. Margin is negotiating power. Margin is early retirement optionality. Margin is starting something without panic. If your margin is thin, wealth will always feel fragile, no matter your salary. If your margin is wide, even a modest income can create strength. So ask yourself, if your income froze today, would your freedom still grow? If not, the issue isn't budgeting. It's design. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You start viewing raises differently, upgrades differently, subscriptions differently, even friendships differently. Not from scarcity, from strategy. Because long-term wealth isn't built by people chasing status. It's built by people protecting flexibility. This is the wealth problem that doesn't show up in your budget. It's invisible until it's heavy. And if this hit a little too close, good. That awareness is the starting point. In the next video, the financial decisions that quietly lock in your future. We're going deeper into the specific choices that determine whether you're building leverage or slowly boxing yourself in. If you care about control, not just income, that's the logical next step. I'll see you there.